Trimet TV.
That's like MTV, but with buses and stuff, right?
As long as the buses still come on time, you can make a Trimet movie for all I care.
Trimet TV? Is that something to do with lasers?
They're putting TVs on the Max? That's awesome!
Great! Now I don't have to miss my soap operas.
Can I TiVo that?
I bet it has something to do with the internet, right?
I have no idea, but it sounds cool.
Who did which on the what now?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Wait, is this one of those hidden camera prank shows?
Trimet TV is a fresh new way for us to reach you, our riders, to share timely news and information about Trimet services and programs. By taking advantage of web-based technology, we can produce relevant videos that can be viewed in places you're likely to check online, like Trimet.org and PortlandMall.org. We hope you find Trimet TV to be both fun and useful. It's not your father's TV, it's Trimet TV. Trimet TV.
Have you visited Trimet's Portland Mall Information Center? Located at Southwest 6th and Alder, the Information Center is the place to learn about the Portland Mall Light Rail project, the next big thing downtown.
At the Information Center, you can find out about exciting changes in store for Portland's downtown area. Inside, you'll learn about the new MAX lines being built downtown, catch a glimpse of what 5th and 6th Avenues will look like in 2009, and speak with Trimet staff. Check out interactive exhibits and informational videos. A life-size MAX station gives you a feel for what the new mall will be like when trains start running in September of 2009.
The Portland Mall Information Center is also the home of Mall Management, Inc., providing security and other services along Southwest 5th and 6th Avenues. We'll see you there.
Trimet TV.
Get ready for big changes on 5th and 6th Avenues downtown. The Portland Mall Light Rail project is making major renovations that will transform Portland's aging transit mall into a vibrant and inviting place for residents, commuters, and shoppers. Opening in 2009, Trimet's new MAX line to Clackamas County, the Green Line, will run the length of the mall, connecting Union Station and Portland State University, the top transit destination downtown. The I-205 segment will bring high-capacity transit service to Clackamas County, the third most populous county in the state. After nearly 30 years in operation, the transit mall was ready for renovation. Streets and bricks were cracked, and maintenance costs were increasing. Soon, the mall will be revitalized with refurbished streets and sidewalks, new transit shelters, better lighting, and eye-catching public art. In the spring of 2009, buses return to the Portland Mall, and MAX trains start rolling in September. Not only will our community benefit from better transit service, we'll all enjoy a beautiful and inviting public space to live, work, and play. The Portland Mall Light Rail project is underway. It's the next big thing downtown.
Trimet TV.
The Portland Mall Light Rail project reached a milestone in late September as crews installed the last of the 4 new light rail crossings on 5th and 6th Avenues.
It looks like a lot of sparks flying. A little loud, but not too loud.
Here at Southwest 6th and Yamhill, just steps from Pioneer Courthouse Square, is one of the downtown intersections where the new MAX Green Line will cross the existing track. Before the crossing could be installed, crews had to remove the old track.
They said go, we fired up the saws and took out the old pieces of rail. Came out in about 15 minutes. Then we brought in the new crosses and dropped them into place.
The rail pieces used in the crossings were custom made in Luxembourg.
Contractor gets it, it's essentially in 4 pieces, where actually the cross has been prefabricated, but if you imagine there's 4 X's and you want to weld them all together to make like a tic-tac-toe.
Work began on a Friday night and was completed by Monday morning to minimize the disruption to MAX riders.
So it's kind of a real detailed piece of work.
By the end of 2007, track construction on 5th Avenue will be complete, and the street will be open to vehicle traffic all the way from Union Station to Portland State University. MAX trains begin rolling on the new tracks in September of 2009. You can watch the construction progress or get updates by email online at portlandmall.org.
Trimet TV.
Did you know you can get real-time arrival information for buses and MAX right over the phone? It's easy, thanks to Trimet's TransitTracker. Unlike schedules, TransitTracker is based on the precise location of your bus or train, so you have a better idea of when your ride is coming. That means, instead of standing at the stop, you may choose to wait inside, run another errand, or maybe grab a cup of coffee. Here's how it works. First, dial 503-238-RIDE. That's 238-7433 from any touch-tone phone. Press 1 for TransitTracker. When prompted, you can enter the stop ID number of the bus stop or MAX station you want information about. Stop IDs are 3 to 5-digit numbers, and they're posted at many stops and MAX stations, on schedules, and online at trimet.org. If you don't know the stop ID, no problem. Just press the pound key and follow the instructions to select your stop. Once you've selected a stop, TransitTracker will tell you the next arrivals for the buses or MAX lines serving that stop.
14 Hawthorne to Portland. Arriving in 12 minutes.
Using the latest technology, TransitTracker predicts when your bus or train will arrive through a calculation based on where it is and how fast it's going. Occasionally, TransitTracker won't be able to make an accurate prediction. For example, during icy conditions when buses are chained, TransitTracker will simply tell you the scheduled time instead. You can also access TransitTracker online at trimet.org.
Trimet TV.
I'm Dave Mayer. I'm a bus operator here at Trimet. I work part-time. Been here about a year. I get to the garage here sometime shortly before 5, and the first thing I do is I head for the sign-in sheet because that's the thing that determines whether or not I get to drive. Then the next thing I do is I go out to the bus and I do a pre-trip. That's where I check the bus inside and out, make sure everything's working okay. This is a BDS card. It's a little PC card that has my route programmed into it. I stick it here into the vehicle control head, and that way the bus knows where I'm going and when I'm supposed to be there. And then I drive my morning piece. It's a democratizing kind of an experience to be driving along and picking up all of society and taking them where they need to go, and experiencing people that I might never have a chance to come in contact with. 66! Hi, how are you? Hello, how you doing today? Yeah, welcome to my movie. Wow. Yeah. I really love it when you drive the bus enough, a particular route enough, that it starts to feel a bit like a Cracker Barrel in an old country store. You know, you got Floyd, and you got Lynn, you got Leslie, and you got all these people, and you get to know their names, and they know your names. You know, we're with each other for 15 or 20 minutes every bus ride, and they just become a part of my life. I'm a gratitude junkie. I'm really a gratitude junkie. I enjoy having someone say, "Oh gosh, thank you." It's just that makes my day when I've made somebody say that. One of the things I like about driving the bus is, you know, some people do crossword puzzles, some people do Sudoku. I like to maneuver buses around difficult turns. It's a challenge and it's satisfying. And coming back, it's the same thing. It's running from my last drop-off to the garage. And at stoplights, I'll clean up my transfers and get my pouch back in order, put it back on the shelf, and I'm done. Then I go home and I get my nap.
Trimet TV.
Flying out of PDX, it's easy to take the train to the plane. Trimet's Max Red Line is a convenient and inexpensive way to get to and from Portland International Airport. Catch a Red Line train at any station between Beaverton Transit Center and the airport. You can park for free at a park and ride lot. But remember, there's a 24-hour limit and it's strictly enforced. You'll need to purchase an all-zone fare. Buy a ticket from the machine at the MAX station or from any neighborhood ticket outlet.
Trains run between 5 a.m. and midnight to and from the airport, with 15-minute frequency between 6 a.m. and 10 p.m.
From downtown, the trip to PDX takes only 38 minutes. It's easy to roll your luggage on board, thanks to MAX's low floors. We'll drop you off at the terminal just steps from baggage claim. On your return trip, follow the signs to the light rail station. You can buy tickets and get service information in the lobby. Next time you're heading out of town, why not take the train to the plane? To learn more or to plan your trip, visit trimet.org. Bon voyage!
Trimet TV. Trimet TV.
Commuting on Trimet? Here are 4 easy tips that'll help make it a smooth and speedy ride.
First, be ready to board with the correct fare. On the bus, you can pay with cash, but remember, operators cannot give change. Before boarding MAX, buy a ticket from the machine at the station or from any Trimet ticket outlet.
In the priority seating area located near the door, you are required to move for seniors and people with disabilities. Even if you have a stroller or bike, you'll need to move from this area when somebody needs it. It makes a big difference for riders who aren't able to stand or walk easily. Be sure to move aside for people getting on or off the vehicle, and make sure you're not blocking the aisle or doorway. This includes strollers and bikes. Fold your stroller after boarding and store bags and other belongings on your lap or under the seat. And finally, go with the flow. When you're riding the bus, exit through the rear door whenever possible. This makes it easier for others to board and helps the operator stay on schedule. We want your trips on Trimet to be fast, easy, and comfortable. With your help, everyone can enjoy the ride.
Trimet TV.
My name is Donna Popi, and I operate the MAX trains, and that makes me a light rail vehicle operator. I was a bus operator for 3 years before I came to rail, but I've been operating the train since 2004. Some of the most difficult parts about being a rail operator are the pedestrians, for one. The trains are quiet, so they don't always hear you coming, and then when you add an iPod in there and cell phones, it's really scary. You know, they just don't hear you coming at all. This guy on the left, you're not paying attention. Do that. But that's what you have to watch for. I don't know a bus operator or a rail operator that doesn't save somebody's life every day. You really have to be on your toes. There's just way too much going on. That's actually one thing I really love about this job. I like being outside, and it's like being outside when I'm not operating the train, because the windows are big and I have a panoramic view of the world out there, and I like that a lot. It's, you know, there's something to be said for bus operators and the social interaction you get with people too. There's a man that goes between Gateway and 102nd, so I see him all the time, and he always tips his hat. And I don't know, I feel a little bit isolated up here from the rest of the world back there. So it's nice when you see some passengers that wave to you, or you kind of get to know them through the window of the train. You don't really get to ever talk to them much. In some ways, I kind of miss the socialness of the bus side, but not enough to go back. I like trains. I spent 7.5 years driving bus, so this suits me very, very well. I highly recommend it.
Trimet TV.
Trimet is improving security on the transit system to help keep you safe. We recently hired 16 new security guards for a total of 36. These men and women provide a security presence throughout the system while assisting fare inspectors, police, and Trimet staff when necessary. You may have noticed more transit police officers riding MAX. The number of officers will increase by 10% and will expand by another 10% when the new MAX Green Line opens in 2009. And for people who don't pay their fare, we've adopted a zero-tolerance policy.
Today I'm setting a standard of zero tolerance for fare evaders. You're going to see much more visible fare inspection throughout the system. We will supplement our fare inspector staff with the police and rail supervisory personnel. This is a warning to fare evaders and cheats. Your free ride on Trimet is about to end.
To address the problems with broken ticket machines, our on-street crews have stepped up maintenance to avoid breakdowns, and will begin installing more reliable credit card readers this summer. Plus, you now have the option of buying your fare from participating nearby vendors at major MAX stations. We've upgraded the lighting along the east side MAX line to meet today's security standards. At the 82nd Avenue and Gresham Central stations, We added new floodlights and trimmed tree branches to improve visibility. In addition, we've set a goal to remove all graffiti within 24 hours, whenever possible. These changes are part of our ongoing efforts to make Trimet safe, inviting, and comfortable for everyone. You can email us at comments@trimet.org to share your feedback. We welcome your comments and suggestions.
Trimet TV.
Wondering what to do when a ticket machine is out of order? If you need to buy a ticket and the machine isn't working, don't give up just yet. There are other ways you can purchase your fare. First, try another form of payment. If the machine isn't accepting debit and credit cards, it's probably still accepting bills and coins. You can also try using another machine. Depending on which station you're at, you may be able to purchase a ticket from a nearby vendor. Participating shops and cafes at some of the major MAX stations, such as Gresham's Central Transit Center, sell tickets during business hours. Just remember to stamp your ticket in the validator at the station before boarding. You can always buy tickets in advance. Books of 10 tickets are available at grocery stores such as Safeway, Fred Meyer, and Albertsons, and at the Trimet office at Pioneer Courthouse Square. You can also order them online at trimet.org. We're working to fix broken machines and make it easier to pay your fare. We've stepped up maintenance efforts to reduce breakdowns, and about 50 old machines will be replaced by the spring of 2009. We're sorry if you have experienced an inconvenience buying your ticket. We're working hard to do better.
Trimet TV.
These days, more and more Portlanders are using pedal power to get around, and a growing number of cyclists are combining their bike trips with transit. If you're planning on bringing your bicycle on MAX, here's what you need to know. Trimet only allows single-seat, two-wheeled bikes on board, or recumbents and electric bikes the size of a standard bicycle. Trailers are not allowed. Bikes are allowed on MAX only if there's room, so try to make your trip before or after rush hour. If MAX is full, you need to wait for another train. When MAX arrives, allow other riders to exit and enter the train first, then walk your bike on board. Inside, look for the signs that show where bikes may be stored. If a vertical rack is available, use that one first. Remember to keep your bike as clean as possible and try not to brush it against others. Always yield the priority seating areas to seniors and people with disabilities. And be sure not to block the stairwells or aisles. If you're on a train with steps at the front doors, bikes are not allowed at the top of the steps. When you practice good bike etiquette, it makes the ride more comfortable for everyone. Happy riding, and we'll see you on board.
Trimet TV.
In January, Popular Science magazine ranked Portland as the greenest city in the country, due in part to the growing number of people using transit, biking, and walking to get around. Here at Trimet, we're proud to help keep our city green. Buses and MAX reduce air pollution and traffic congestion. Plus, we're always looking for ways to reduce our own impact on the environment. Here in Portland, Trimet service eliminates more than 200,000 car trips every day. That's 4.2 tons of smog-forming pollutants and more than 540 metric tons of carbon dioxide. At the same time, we continue looking for ways to reduce pollution produced by buses. For example, we've expanded our use of biodiesel to all buses and lift vehicles, and we use an ultra-low sulfur diesel, which helps reduce particulate emissions up to 30%. When it comes to gas mileage, Trimet buses are among the most fuel efficient anywhere. We've boosted mileage dramatically through mechanical adjustments, improved technology, and reduced idling. This saves us more than 500,000 gallons of fuel every year. Trimet and its contractors are using sustainable construction practices to build the new MAX lines downtown and along I-205. On the Portland Mall, we're working to salvage, recycle, and reuse building materials. Nearly 30,000 cubic yards of concrete, aggregate, and base material will be crushed or cleaned and then reused. On the I-205 segment, landscaping at MAX stations will feature hundreds of new trees as well as native plants that require less water and fertilizer. Trimet Service has helped generate $6 billion in development along the MAX lines. Much of this development is residential mixed with retail and other commercial use, creating communities where people can live, work, and play. Transit-oriented development helps improve livability and reduce the pressure on our natural environment from things like sprawl, traffic congestion, and air pollution. To learn more about Trimet's sustainability efforts, visit us online at trimet.org. And thanks for doing your part to help keep our community green.
Trimet TV.
If you're a frequent MAX rider, you might have noticed some changes on Trimet's older trains. We're in the process of refurbishing the body and paint on 26 of our oldest MAX vehicles. Over time, rust and corrosion can damage MAX's finish. And these trains are more than 20 years old, about half their lifespan, so they're ready for a midlife makeover.
For the Type 1s, the overhaul process for just the body shop is approximately 3 to 4 months.
The refurbishing takes place here at Trimet's Ruby Junction maintenance facility in Gresham. A team of 6 technicians work on one train at a time from beginning to end.
We have to strip them down to original bare metal and basically start the process from the beginning and bring them back to a fairly nice looking standard.
Trimet's maintenance crews try to keep the trains in the best possible condition. That way we're able to invest in expanding service instead of buying new trains. While a new MAX vehicle costs more than $3 million, the cost of refurbishing is only a fraction of that expense, around $150,000.
We chip the paint and the old bodywork off, then we grind it down to bare metal. From there we clean it, then we put an epoxy primer on it, which is a moisture barrier and a corrosion resistant paint. Then we apply what's called spackle, which is a form of a body filler, and it's used to fill in all the low spots and to give it a smooth appearance. And then on top of that goes epoxy primer again. Then we put a primer surfacer on there, which is used to sand out the very minor imperfections that were created in the body filler. Then we put a sealer coat on, 2 coats of color, and then we put in the 2 colors, the blue arc and the yellow arc on top of that, and that pretty much covers it.
After 25 years in service, a MAX train becomes eligible for replacement using grant money from the Federal Transit Administration. However, a well-maintained vehicle can have a useful life of 40 to 50 years. By giving these trains a makeover now, we can get more MAX for our money.
They're about 20 years old, and we're going to try to get 20 more years out of them.
Trimet TV.
Ever wonder why the bus or MAX goes one place but not another? Or why some lines run more frequently than others? Trimet's transportation planners are the ones who come up with those routes and schedules, and they try to make them both convenient and cost-effective by working together with riders, communities, and local governments.
Our primary goals in transportation planning are to increase ridership, making the service more cost-effective, to serve the communities in need of transit with regular and dependable fixed-route bus and MAX service, and to limit our operational impact on the community.
For a bus or MAX line to be cost-effective, it needs to carry a certain number of riders every hour.
As a public entity that collects taxpayer money, it's incumbent upon us to ensure that we're getting the most rides for every dollar that we spend.
If there aren't enough riders, the service can be put to better use somewhere else in the system.
A line is not feasible if it can't generate more than 15 riders per hour. We engage those riders and that community into a long discussion about how to improve the service. Oftentimes we make adjustments to the service to improve it. That might be changing the hours, it might be changing the frequency.
Trimet's frequent service bus lines, which run every 15 minutes or better every day, carry more than 40 riders per hour. One of the less obvious factors we have to consider is operational impact. In other words, how will the service actually work out on the street?
We're going to be able to turn the bus around at the end of the line. We can make all the turns that we need to make. We are going to have an appropriate place to lay over at the end of the line.
Not only that, how does the community feel about running a bus through their neighborhood?
We typically don't like to run bus service down quiet residential streets. We like to keep them on busier streets that are used to a lot of traffic.
And just like you and me, operators need a place to pull over and take a break.
You wouldn't believe how much time we spend trying to find bathrooms for operators.
When it comes to planning transit service, ridership, cost, and operational impact all play an important role. The final piece of this puzzle is you. Each year we have open houses where you can get involved and tell us what kind of transit system you want now and in the future. You can also learn more about the planning process in our Transit Investment Plan, which helps us decide where to invest in service. To get your copy or to share your comments, visit us online at trimet.org/tip.
Trimet TV.
Did you know that some Trimet buses can talk? Well, sort of. At least they can introduce themselves and tell you where they're going. We're installing a new stop announcement system that makes it easier to get on the right bus and get off at the right stop. Similar to the MAX light rail trains, it tells you the name of the bus line when it arrives and announces key stops along the route. Here's how it works. When the bus pulls up to a stop served by 2 or more lines, it announces its number and destination on an external speaker, so you can be sure you're getting on the right bus.
Line 14, Hawthorne to Portland.
On board, an electric sign behind the driver shows the name of the next major stop, along with the current time. An audio announcement is made as well.
Southeast 39th. Transfer to line 75.
The system announces transfer points, fare zone boundaries, and the first stop on a new street after the vehicle turns a corner. This makes it a lot easier to find your way around in an unfamiliar area, and you're less likely to miss your stop. By the end of 2008, most of our low-floor buses, about 360 in all, will have automatic stop announcements. That's about half of our bus fleet. New buses will have this feature as well. MAX has had internal and external announcements for about 10 years. Now, buses will offer the same convenience. To learn more or to share your comments, visit us online at trimet.org.
Trimet TV.
MAX Light Rail is coming to Clackamas County. Starting in September 2009, riders will be able to travel from Clackamas Town Center to downtown Portland in 39 minutes on Trimet's newest MAX line, the Green Line. New tracks are being installed along I-205 between Clackamas Town Center and Gateway, and downtown on 5th and 6th Avenues between Union Station and Portland State University. Along I-205, we're building 8 MAX stations and 5 park and ride lots. Stations are being designed to provide easy connections with buses, and there will be more than 2,000 parking spaces for commuters and carpoolers. You'll see improvements to nearby streets, intersections, and bike paths as well. Most of the MAX route follows an existing transit right-of-way that was created when the freeway was first built. This allows for faster construction and fewer traffic disruptions. True to its name, the Green Line is being built using sustainable construction methods. For example, we're recycling and reusing materials whenever possible. In addition to planting more than 1,000 new trees, crews are installing underground devices called silvacells that promote healthy tree growth and filter the water that drains into nearby streams. At each station, a unique sculpture will greet riders and help orient visitors. Shelter columns will be covered with recycled glass tile in a different color for each station, and windscreen glass will be etched with an artist-designed pattern. Clackamas County is Oregon's third most populous county and one of the fastest growing areas in our region. Soon, residents and businesses will enjoy frequent and reliable light rail transit service, providing connections to work, shopping, and recreation throughout the metro area. Track construction will be complete in fall of 2008, and systems installation will follow. After a period of testing and training, MAC's Green Line will open for service in September of 2009. To learn more or to get updates by email, visit us online at trimet.org/I205.
Trimet TV. Trimet TV.
With higher fuel costs comes a shift in how we travel. More of us are choosing to bike or take mass transit for some or all of our trips. When buses, trains, and bikes share the road, it's even more important to practice safe driving and safe riding. Trimet bus operators are trained to watch out for cyclists. You can help by following a few simple rules of the road. At Max and West stations, cyclists are not allowed to ride on boarding platforms or in pedestrian crossings. Walking your bike across the tracks is the safest way to enter or exit the station. Look both ways before crossing the tracks. Trains may be approaching in either direction. Be sure to cross the tracks straight on. It's dangerous to cross at an angle or right alongside the tracks. It can cause your wheel to slip into the track bed and result in a crash. To be safe, walk your bike across the tracks. Visibility is important when you're riding around buses. Always use a front white light and a rear red light at night, at dusk, and at dawn. And remember, buses have blind spots. If you can't see the operator in the mirror, the operator can't see you. Be predictable. Use hand signals when merging, turning, or changing lanes. This helps bus operators make good decisions around you, such as when to pull out from a stop, when to pass you, and when to make a turn. Ride in a straight line and avoid weaving between parked cars or between the sidewalk and the street. Take the middle of the traffic lane if it is narrow, so drivers behind you will know to move to the left lane to pass. The safest place to be around buses is in front of them. Most important, obey signals and signs. Don't ride against traffic or in areas marked bus only. These streets are closed to bikes and other vehicles. Walk your bike on the sidewalk if you need to. Buses and bikes share the right side of the road and often have to weave across each other's paths as buses serve stops. Buses aren't permitted to cross bike lanes to get into a bus stop until the bike lane is clear. If you approach a bus serving a stop, pass on the left. When you see a stop bus with the right blinker or the flashers activated, that means passengers are getting on and off, and you should pass on the left. When a bus is flashing its yield sign, don't pass. Instead, allow the bus back into the center of the lane. You should even stop if necessary. Yield signs allow buses to get back into traffic after they leave stops so they can stay on schedule. If you have a bad experience with a bus or a train, please let us know by calling 503-238-RIDE or email customerservice@trimet.org. Be sure to note the bus line, location, and the time of day. Working together, we can all share the road safely. Your help goes a long way. To learn more, visit trimet.org/bikes.
Trimet TV.
Mobility is an important quality of life issue for seniors and individuals with disabilities. Transportation increases independence, provides connection with the community, and ensures access to life-sustaining activities. RideWise helps older adults and people with disabilities travel safely and independently using public transportation. Services include information on transportation services in your area, help with choosing the best mode of transportation for your trip, personal and group transit orientations using Trimet buses and MAX trains that are not in service, and personal and group travel training using in-service vehicles. Follow-up support and training is available as needed, and training is free of charge. By providing information on transportation choices, personal trip planning, and instruction in riding buses and MAX trains, RideWise can help you build the confidence and skills to use all the transit options available to you.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. It was the fact is, Reva looked it up, got the information of direction, the buses, got it all coordinated. So when she went to the doctor a couple of different times, we had no trouble at all.
And I just kind of tell them, like, you know, I need to learn how to get to wherever the destination is, and they'll come down and just kind of take me through the route a couple of times, try to get used to it.
RideWise is a unique partnership between Trimet and Ride Connection, a nonprofit community service organization. It's safe and easy. Get on board.
It's a good deal for us. I know that, and it would for us, it wouldn't for anybody.
Trimet TV.
Chances are, when you catch the bus home, it means your day is just about over. Trimet, on the other hand, works hard after dark to keep our city moving. Every night, the crews at Trimet's garages inspect, clean, and refuel hundreds of buses to prepare them for another day out on the road. Two of these little-known but very important roles are the spotter and the service worker. When a bus completes its service day and arrives back at the garage, the operator is greeted at the gate by the spotter. The spotter removes the fare box from the bus and empties the money into a safe. Then, he connects a special device to the bus's onboard computer, which keeps track of the amount of money and the types of fares deposited in the fare box. If the bus has any mechanical problems or is due for maintenance, the spotter will send the bus into the shop for repair. Otherwise, he gives the operator directions to a specific parking spot so the bus can be cleaned and refueled. From there, the service workers take over. The bus is first taken into the fuel house, where a service worker fills the tank, checks the oil, inspects the signs, tests the lift or ramp, and makes sure the cameras are working properly. Meanwhile, inside the bus, another worker attaches a large vacuum to the doorway and uses a blower to quickly remove trash and dirt. Much of the trash gets recycled, including any paper, cans, or bottles. After that, the bus gets an interior mopping and a wash. If needed, other workers perform a detailed interior cleaning and remove graffiti. Finally, the service worker drives the bus back out to the yard, parks it in the space designated by the spotter, then takes the next bus in to be cleaned and refueled. Altogether, the whole process takes about 14 minutes per bus. From about 6 p.m. to 3:30 a.m., buses move around the yard in an intricate ballet. For the service worker, that means a lot of walking. In fact, they have been known to walk as much as 5 miles in one night. By morning, the buses have been placed so they're ready for their morning pullouts, and the operators know where to find them. This is an important job. If the buses aren't in place by the time operators arrive, this could mean delays for the rest of the day. While most of us are sleeping, spotters, service workers, and other Trimet maintenance staff are busy behind the scenes, preparing buses for tomorrow's runs. It's a team effort to help make sure you get where you need to go.
Trimet TV.
Riding the bus after dark? Here are some tips to help you be seen and be safe. When it's dark out, it's harder for bus operators to see you waiting at the stop. Here's how you can prevent accidental pass-ups. If possible, wear something bright. Dark clothing is difficult to see. As the bus approaches, stand up and alert the operator by waving your cell phone, flashlight, or strobe light. This helps operators notice you. Between 8 p.m. and 5 a.m., you can ask your bus operator to let you off anywhere along the route, not just at designated stops. Just let your operator know a block or two in advance. They'll pull over at a safe place to let you off. This service is available anywhere outside of Fareless Square. Keep in mind, it's for drop-offs only. You still need to board the bus at your regular stop. For more travel tips, visit us online at trimet.org. And thanks for riding Trimet.
Trimet TV.
Thinking about bringing your bike on the bus? It's easy. Here's what you need to know. If you have a compact folding bike, you're welcome to bring it on board. Otherwise, you'll need to load your bike onto the rack on the front of the bus. Most standard-size bikes, and even some recumbents, will fit in the racks. Bike racks can fill up quickly during the morning and afternoon rush hour, so be prepared to wait for another bus if there's no space. To be safe, make sure the bus stops completely and get the driver's attention before loading your bike. First, squeeze the handle on the top of the rack and pull the rack forward to lower it. There are slots for 2 bikes. If the rack is empty, just lift your bike and place the wheels in one of the slots. Then, to secure it, slide the metal bar up over your front wheel or fender as close to the frame as possible. Remove any loose items or valuables from your bike. Be sure to remove panniers, child seats, or any object that could block the headlights or the operator's vision. Finally, board the bus and pay your fare. Okay, let's see that again. Make eye contact with the operator, squeeze the handle, lower the rack,
Put your bike in the slot, secure the wheel, remove loose items, and you're done. Don't forget your bike. When you're ready to get off the bus, let the operator know that you need to get your bike. Exit through the front door if you can. Again, make eye contact before you step in front of the bus. Slide the metal bar off of the wheel. Then lift your bike out of the slot and fold up the rack. Voila! Never cross the street in front of the bus unless it's stopped at a red light. And that's how you bring your bike on the bus. Want to practice first? You can try out a demonstration bike rack at PSU's Transportation Information Center in the PSU Urban Center Plaza, or at the Community Cycling Center located at 1700 Northeast Alberta Street in Portland. To learn more about bringing your bike on Trimet, visit trimet.org/bikes.
Trimet TV.
Trimet's new West commuter rail line, West Side Express service, is opening soon. Starting February 2nd, West will begin carrying passengers between Wilsonville, Tualatin, Tigard, and Beaverton. It will be a welcome alternative to I-5 and Highway 217. And, like many of you, we're excited to get West trains rolling. Over the last few months, we've been busy testing the new trains so you have a safe and smooth ride. Preparing a new rail line for service is a big job, with rigorous testing, safety certification, and a lot of mechanical and electrical work. Darren Morris, the operations manager for West, is responsible for getting the new trains up and running.
Well, the first thing that we need to do to get a West train ready for service is to obviously make sure that it will move and that it will stop. So we instrument the cars with some chart recorders and data graphs, and we make sure that when we ask the train to stop, that it meets its rated deceleration and stops within a certain period of time. So we'll load the train with sand up to about 200,000 pounds to simulate passenger service, and make sure that the train will accelerate properly under load, and more specifically and more importantly, decelerate properly under heavy load, so that when we give it the brake command, and it stops within a prescribed amount of time. If it doesn't, it's out of spec, and we need to do some adjustments on the braking system in order to make it do that. Otherwise, we can't haul passengers.
West trains can go up to 60 miles per hour, but the average rate of speed will probably be around 30 miles per hour.
Whenever we have flat enough track where we don't have curves and we don't have platforms to stop at, we'll go 60 miles an hour.
Unlike Max, West trains are actually diesel locomotives, and they will run along an existing freight train track. That means some aspects, such as the braking system, are a little different on West.
These are air brake systems, and so they use hydraulic brakes on the light rail side, and we use air, and that's a federal requirement because locomotives use air brakes, and all this equipment that's running on this railroad has to use air brakes.
Darren and his team are also busy getting the various onboard systems ready for prime time.
And then you have the peripheral equipment like doors. You've got to make sure the doors open and close. The HVAC system works so that people are cool, or get cool in the summer and get warm in the winter. And all the other peripheral stuff like the communication system, so that automated stop announcements are made and things like that.
One feature that West riders will enjoy is free wireless internet on board the train.
The cars weren't delivered with passenger Wi-Fi, and so we installed that. Our IT people over at Center Street, Rick Jacoby, were instrumental in outfitting the cars with Wi-Fi equipment. So all that work has been done.
It takes a lot of coordination and teamwork to get West Commuter Rail moving. And come February, you'll have a new way to commute in Clackamas and Washington counties. To learn more about West, visit trimet.org/West. We'll see you on board.
Trimet TV.
It's West time. West, short for West Side Express Service, adds a new alternative to I-5 and Highway 217 for commuters in Washington and Clackamas counties. Connecting Beaverton, Tigard, Tualatin, and Wilsonville, West runs about every 30 minutes, Monday through Friday, during the morning and afternoon rush hour. Instead of traffic, you'll have roughly 30 minutes of your own West time to use however you like. Devote that transit time to reading a book, challenge yourself to a crossword puzzle, catch up with friends online with free wireless internet on board West, or just sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. What will you do with your West time?
So what are you going to do with your West time?
I could listen to my iPod, I can read a book, the newspaper, but I like the fact that there's going to be Wi-Fi because I can do some email checking before I even get to work and do some pre-work while I'm sitting here on the train.
I think I'll probably read and maybe sleep. No, I know it's a short ride, so I'll probably read.
So what are you going to do with your West time?
Do my Nintendo DS.
I'm going to draw, just like this.
Well, I love to read and I love to blog, so I'm going to be catching up on that with my West train, yeah.
West runs 5:20 to 10 o'clock a.m. and 3:30 to 8 o'clock p.m. Monday through Friday. Start your work week hassle-free and leave the driving to us. To learn more about West, visit trimet.org/West.
Trimet TV.
This month, 40 new buses will be added to the Trimet fleet. They will replace some of our oldest buses, which are nearly 20 years old. The 2900 series bus, made by New Flyer, offers the latest in technology, fuel efficiency, and emissions. And soon it will be hitting the streets. With an updated profile, these buses are more aerodynamic than previous models, but the biggest changes are inside and under the hood. Clear windows and a bright color scheme make the interior feel open and inviting. There are more handholders for riders who are standing, and more onboard cameras to improve security. These buses also have a reader board and a speaker system for automatic stop announcements. For the operator, there are now adjustable pedals for the throttle and brake, as well as electric assist power steering, and a 16-inch steering wheel. Cornering lights on the side of the bus make it easier to see pedestrians at the curb or in the crosswalk. For the workers who clean the buses, a supplemental heating system helps them stay warm without actually running the engine. Another fuel-saving feature is an innovative electric cooling system developed by Trimet's maintenance crews. Inspired by NASCAR racing technology, the system's fans use less engine power, which boosts fuel economy by nearly 4%. And when it comes to reducing emissions, a high-tech exhaust filter keeps harmful particulates from polluting the air. We expect to have all the new buses on the road by the end of March 2009. To learn more, visit us online at trimet.org/bus.
Trimet TV.
Running a transit system that carries more than 315,000 riders a day is no small task. It takes a team of operations employees to pull it off successfully, and Trimet field supervisors play a critical role. Field supervisors monitor the day-to-day operation of the bus and rail systems, making sure that our service is safe and reliable. At any given time, they can be found throughout the metro area, keeping operators and riders moving. You might see them at stops and stations, helping riders with questions like how to use a ticket machine or where to catch the right bus. Field supervisors also provide support for operators out on the road. They check for fares on board, buses and trains, and make sure everyone is following the rules. When there's a problem with bus service, field supervisors step into action to minimize delays for riders. They coordinate bus reroutes, set up temporary shuttle buses, and even direct traffic. And they come to rescue when there's an equipment failure, like a broken fare box or boarding ramp. Rail field supervisors oversee the operation of MAX trains and systems. If there is a problem with the rail equipment, they're trained to throw switches on the main line and flag trains through intersections if necessary. They also keep track of how many people are riding MAX so they know when to deploy extra trains, like before and after sporting events. In the case of an accident or emergency, field supervisors work closely with police and security personnel to investigate. They carry radios to stay in touch with Trimet's Operations Command Center so they can respond at a moment's notice to any issue that comes up. When the weather turns bad, field supervisors patrol the service area in the early morning looking for conditions that might cause problems for buses and trains. They look for snow or black ice on the road or freezing rain on the overhead max wires. By the time buses roll out of the garage, field supervisors have determined which ones need to be on snow routes and which ones need to be chained up. The role of the field supervisor is exciting, and their hands-on work takes them across the Portland area to solve a wide variety of problems. The next time you see one, remember that they are part of a team of Trimet employees all working to get you to your destination safely and on time.
Trimet TV.
As any rider will tell you, artwork abounds on Trimet's Max Light Rail and West Commuter Rail lines. You can find art at stations, on shelters, and on bridges. Some pieces are impossible to miss, while others are a little harder to spot. Quite often, the art is built right into the station itself. This is the handiwork of local and regional artists who are helping to enhance the transit experience through public art. Before construction begins, they meet with Trimet architects and engineers to integrate their artwork into the design of the transit system. The result is kind of like a citywide art gallery, only these masterpieces aren't for sale, they're for everyone to enjoy. Public art gives each Max and West station a unique identity, reflecting the people and the history of the nearby community. For example, at Hillsborough Central Max Station, the artwork honors the lives of everyday people. Bronze objects, such as this Native American burden basket and Mexican lasso, celebrate the local heritage. 260 feet below the surface at the Washington Park Station, you'll find a core sample timeline. Portraying 16 million years of history, it corresponds with the age of the rock between the tunnel and the surface. At the Rose Quarter, 2 groves of illuminated trees more than 20 feet tall provide a futuristic landmark for the Max station. The virtual trees generate their own electricity through solar panels that branch out of the upper boughs. En route to the airport, spanning I-205, the Fishbird pedestrian bridge links the light rail station to the Park Rose Sumner Transit Center. The artist references the Columbia River and the airport destination with his abstracted Fishbird form. The Expo Center station features traditional Japanese timber gates, marking the site where Japanese Americans were interned during the summer of 1942. Metal tags strung from the gates represent the nearly 3,000 people incarcerated at the center. At the 5 stations along Trimet's West Commuter Rail, it's hard to resist playing with the interactivators. These movable cast bronze heads and vehicles run on a track mounted on a stainless steel table. The heads express the full range of human emotions and personalities, like the cross-section of the community that can be found on board any train. The vehicles each carry a sculpted scene of an animal, representing the station area where they are located. The Green Line station at Southeast Division Street features Sky to Earth, a 400-foot sculptural fence that waves and loops alongside the station. It replaces standard chain link fencing with colorful and dynamic artwork. And downtown, at the historic Union Station, a series of sculptures called cairns was inspired by the man-made stacks of stones that traditionally mark trails as landmarks for navigation and as memorials. These are just a few of the dozens of art installations along Trimet's Max and West lines. Not only do they entertain and inspire us, each one is a celebration of the diversity and rich history of our community. For a self-guided public art tour, visit trimet.org/art.
Trimet TV.
The next generation of Max has arrived. Fresh from the factory, 22 new light rail vehicles are joining the Trimet fleet. Not only do they have a sleek new look, they offer more seating, improved safety features, better mileage, and a smoother ride. The new trains are a slight variation of the Siemens S70 light rail vehicle currently in operation in Houston, San Diego, and Paris.
The first thing you'll notice is their aerodynamic styling, with rounded corners and a sloping front end. At roughly 191 feet, they're about 7 feet longer than older MAX vehicles. And each car has only one operator cab, so you'll always see two of them coupled together. On board, there's space for 8 more seats per train, plus additional standing room. While existing MAX trains were designed to carry up to 332 riders, these can carry 344. The floor plan has a more open feel and helps improve visibility on board. Plus, you'll notice a more comfortable ride. When the train stops, it's nice and smooth. For extra safety, we've added a rear view camera system. This expands the operator's field of vision and enhances visibility at night. The cameras have sensors that switch from color to black and white in low light conditions. And while MAX has always been environmentally friendly, these new trains are more energy efficient than previous models. They're nearly 6,000 pounds lighter, so they don't need as much electricity to operate. To learn more about the next generation of MAX or to share your comments, visit us online at trimet.org/max.
Trimet TV.
There are a few simple rules to remember while riding Trimet. First, valid and correct fare is required. Outside Fareless Square, you need a ticket, pass, or transfer every time. If you're in the priority seating area by the door, move aside for seniors and people with disabilities. They need the seat more than you do. Parents with strollers may use this area as long as it's not occupied or needed by seniors or people with disabilities. It's illegal to threaten the safety of a rider or operator or interfere with the movement of a bus or train. Don't be so loud that you disturb others. Everyone deserves a comfortable ride, so excessive noise is not allowed on Trimet. Keep the aisles and doorways clear of personal belongings. On buses and the older MAX trains with steps, strollers must be folded after boarding. If you're standing, move back so others can board. If you're traveling with a pet, you must keep it inside a carrier, unless it's a service animal. And finally, eating is not allowed on buses or MAX, but you can bring food and drinks on board in closed containers. When we all follow the rules, it makes the ride safer and more comfortable for everyone. Not only that, it helps your bus or train stay on schedule. Thanks for being a responsible rider.
Trimet TV.
If you live or work in Clackamas County or East Multnomah County, you'll soon have a convenient and affordable way to get around. Starting September 12, 2009, you can go from Clackamas Town Center to downtown Portland in 39 minutes on Trimet's new MAX Green Line. The Green Line will travel alongside I-205 to Gateway, then continue west to downtown Portland, where it will serve the transit mall between Union Station and PSU. At Gateway, you can connect with the Blue Line to Gresham or take the Red Line to the airport. Downtown, you can transfer to the Yellow Line, which serves North and Northeast Portland. Or you can catch a Red or Blue Line train out to Beaverton or Hillsborough. The Green Line is your connection to work, shopping, school, and fun in the Portland metro area. In a word, green means go! Minibus and MAX lines connect with the Green Line. For step-by-step directions, plan your trip online at trimet.org. The online trip planner will also give you walking directions up to 1 mile. For cyclists, there is bike parking available at each station. A limited number of lockers are available for a small rental fee. If you're driving to the station, there are several park and ride lots available near Green Line stations for riders and carpoolers. Parking is free, but there's a 24-hour limit. At the station, you'll find easy-to-read signs, system maps, and electronic displays with real-time arrival information. And you can't miss the eye-catching sculptures and artwork created by local and regional artists. Signs show you where to wait and when the next train is due. The Green Line runs every 15 minutes during the day, from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. on weekdays and 10:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. on weekends. During the early morning and evening hours, trains run about every 30 minutes. You can call 503-238-RIDE for MAX arrival information. Press 1 for TransitTracker, then enter the stop ID number listed on the sign. Be sure to buy a ticket or pass before boarding MAX. You can get one from the ticket machine at the station or your local grocery store. There are no ticket machines on board the train. To travel between I-205 stations in downtown Portland, you'll need an all-zone fare. Within downtown Portland and the Lloyd District, a fare is not required. On board, there is a priority seating area by the door for seniors and people with disabilities. Be prepared to show your fare if requested by a fare inspector. They check fares randomly throughout the system. MAX stops at every station. The station name is announced before each stop and appears on a reader board overhead. Be alert around MAX. Always look both ways before crossing the tracks. Join us for the Green Line Grand Opening celebration on Saturday, September 12th. Enjoy great food, entertainment, and free rides on the Green Line, all starting at 11:30 a.m. We'll see you there. To learn more about MAX Green Line or to get service updates by email, visit trimet.org.
Trimet TV.
We're dedicated to keeping your trips on Trimet as seamless as possible. When there's a big disruption or a change in service, Trimet's friendly ride guides are out on the street and ready to help. Ride guides are Trimet employees from various departments who volunteer to go out and assist riders in times of need. Whether it's a major service change, like moving bus stops off of the transit mall, or a planned disruption, such as construction on the steel bridge, ride guides are there, providing directions and answering questions. Ride guides also help out at high traffic locations when snow and ice is affecting service. At Trimet, customer service is part of everyone's job. Ride guides are part of a team that includes customer service, operations, and security staff, all working to help keep you moving.
Trimet TV.
Hi, I'm Shirley Carter. I'm a Trimet bus driver, and I drive the 70 and the 75. Today, I'm here to answer some of your questions. Neil from Milwaukee wrote to us, asking why the bus left without him. He says, "The driver saw me, but he wouldn't open the door for me. He just took off, making me late for work. Why didn't he let me on?" Good question, Neil. It's no fun getting left behind, but sometimes it's necessary. Here's why. Bus and MAX operators have a tight schedule to maintain. When I pull up to a stop, I have a brief window of time to board passengers, close the doors, and get moving. If I open the door again to let more people on, I could miss a signal, making us several minutes late. And if that happens at every stop, I would never be on time. Another reason is safety. If the bus has already pulled away from the curb, it may not be safe to let you on. Operators really don't want you running through traffic to catch a bus or a train. A good rule is, if you have to run for it, wait for the next one. It's not worth the risk. Now, MAX trains share the same track, so when one train is running late, it can delay the trains behind it as well. Once the operator closes the doors, he's watching the signal and getting ready to leave. We know it can be frustrating when a bus or a train leaves without you. But it's because we're doing our best to keep everyone moving on schedule. Thanks for the question, Neil. Do you have a question for us? Send an email to tv@trimet.org or call 503-238-RIDE. See you on board.
Trimet TV.
When Fareless Square was created more than 30 years ago, buses ruled the transit mall. If you've been in downtown Portland lately, however, you've probably noticed now there are trains everywhere. Welcome to Portland's free rail zone. It's the same area as Fareless Square and celebrates that nearly every downtown destination can easily be reached on the green and yellow MAX lines on the Transit Mall, the blue and red MAX lines on Morrison and Yamhill, or the Portland streetcar. We've changed the name of Portland's free transit area from Fareless Square to Free Rail Zone to help you remember that as of Sunday, January 3rd, only MAX and the streetcar will continue to be free in downtown Portland and the Lloyd District. If you ride a bus in these areas on January 3rd or later, you will need to buy a fare. To help our honored citizen riders who live in downtown Portland, we're offering a new downtown-only bus pass at the Trimet ticket office at Pioneer Square. You'll know that you're in the Free Rail Zone when you see the Free Rail Zone emblem at rail stations within the zone boundary. If you're traveling beyond the free zone, be sure to buy a ticket or pass before boarding MAX. There are no ticket machines on board the train. To learn more about the Free Rail Zone, visit trimet.org. Happy riding!
Trimet TV.
Trimet congratulates Bob Richardson of Portland, a Trimet rider whose entry took first place in the National Dump the Pump video contest sponsored by the American Public Transportation Association. Participants were asked to create videos to demonstrate why they were dumping the pump in favor of using public transportation. Bob's video, Romance, depicts a familiar scene of a woman dumping a significant other, but with an unexpected twist.
You know, times have changed. I've changed. I know this is painful for you, but going on like this isn't healthy for me. And really, if you think about it, I was just using you. It seemed okay at the time, you got me to where I needed to be, but sometimes I just want to walk and clear my head, you know? I don't want to let you down. You've been such a major item in my life, but I think we should spend some time apart. My bus is coming, I should go. Gee, you're expensive.
Trimet TV.
Trimet's West Side Express Service commuter rail line, WES for short, is a year old. WES gives commuters in Washington and Clackamas counties roughly 30 minutes of WES time to spend however they like, instead of fighting traffic. When WES first opened, we asked riders, what will you do with your WES time? Now, after a year's worth of traveling, we're checking in to find out what it's been like.
Well, the convenience, I get to do what I want in the mornings and the evenings. I can read, I can catch up on email, I can watch TV shows that I download to my PDA. So just a lot of free time that I would have normally spent just snarling at the traffic.
It was really easy. The place where I work, the front door of the building is about 100 feet from the Hall Nimbus stop. So obviously I would be very dumb not to try it once. And I tried it the first day it was open to the general public, and I really loved it.
You know, it's always going to be on time. You don't have to worry about traffic.
I was employed by Sterling Savings Bank. They offered a subsidy for the transit, and I'd been reading about WES for a while, and I thought I'd give it a try at first, see if it would work out. Worked out fine.
Get on the WES, find out how comfortable, how awesome service they provide, and the very, very low cost. And it only takes 18 minutes, 17 to 18 minutes from Beaverton to Twylaton.
I've tried to encourage riders like my wife to get on the WES by just getting on it and riding it and finding about the convenience factor.
It's real comfortable. It's quiet on the inside. If you have a laptop, they have free Wi-Fi.
The reduced stress level, the fact that you do something productive. I've done parts of 1 knit hoodie and 3 green shopping bags while in transit going and coming.
The advantage of commuting via WES by car, number one, there's less stress. You know that you're going to get to work on time and not be stuck on I-5 waiting or listening or a great deal of frustration. And I think I'm making a little bit of a contribution to reducing pollution and traffic congestion.
I met more than several people of different conductors. They're all awesome. They are, rider, WES, if you walk from the Beaverton to Wilsonville, please ride WES and you're gonna love it. They're absolutely awesome.
WES runs every 30 minutes on weekdays from 5:20 to 10 a.m. and 3:30 to 8 p.m. connecting Beaverton, Tigard, Tualatin, and Wilsonville. Come aboard and gain a hassle-free hour a day. To learn more about WES, visit trimet.org/WES.
Trimet TV.
Trimet's top priority is building and operating a safe transit system. One of our lesser-known safety activities is crime prevention through environmental design. That's a fancy term that means our transit stations and park and ride lots are designed in a way that discourages criminal activity. Research shows most people decide to commit crimes when they believe they won't be caught. Increasing the chance that they will be caught discourages crime and helps riders feel safe.
First and foremost, stations are designed to allow people to see and be seen. Stations, walkways, and park and ride areas are well lit. Platform benches, signage, and furniture are placed to allow open sight lines. The area is uncluttered and there are no hiding places. When possible, ticket vending machines are installed away from boarding platforms, and only riders with valid tickets are allowed on the platform.
Next, Trimet uses security cameras, both as a deterrent to criminal activity and as evidence for prosecuting crimes. Closed-circuit television cameras are on every MAX train and on 2/3 of the bus fleet.
Cameras are installed at parking garages and elevators and at most MAX stations, with more being installed all the time.
And finally, you, our riders, play an important role in helping us keep the system safe. You are our eyes and ears. If you see something, say something. Report any suspicious behavior or a suspicious package to Trimet personnel or call 911.
Trimet TV.
It happens every day. You're a busy commuter in a rush, and you accidentally leave a personal item on a bus or a train. In 2009, Trimet processed 22,600 lost items. Umbrellas used to be the most frequently lost item. Now it's cell phones. The most unusual item left on a bus was a human skeleton. If you lose your wallet or purse, call us at 503-962-7655. This line is monitored Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., but you can leave a message 24 hours a day. We'll do our best to get your item back to you as quickly as possible. We once even returned a plane ticket to the airport so a rider wouldn't miss her flight. An easier and more efficient way to report your lost item is to fill out the Lost and Found form on Trimet.org. You can list your contact information and details about what you lost, where you lost it, and when you lost it. We enter your loss into our database and assign it a claim number. When we match an item to your report, we'll contact you. Oh, and by the way, this might take up to a week. The main Lost and Found department is at Trimet's Administrative Office Building on Southeast 17th Avenue at Southeast Center Street. Most of the time, you'll come here to claim your item. If we know you're coming, we'll hold it for you. We only have room to keep items for a short time. After 2 weeks, all unclaimed items are donated to charity. Here's a tip. If you often lose things, label them. Trimet keeps contact information for everyone who has ever claimed something from Lost and Found. If we can identify something as yours, we'll call you or send you a postcard.
Trimet TV.
Biking, hiking, birdwatching. Portland has it all, including some of the finest urban natural areas in the country. We also have a great transit system. Why not make your next outdoor adventure a truly green experience by leaving your vehicle at home and taking transit to the trail? For a first transit to trail experience, visit the Tualatin Hills Nature Park in Beaverton. Take the Max Blue Line to the Merlot Road 158th station, and it's just a short walk to the park. This wildlife park has 5 miles of trails and is accessible to all. And like our other featured transit to trail trips, it's part of the Intertwine, our region's connected network of parks, trails, and nature areas. For the more adventurous, experience the best of Portland's scenery and transit on the 4T Trail. This loop trip from downtown Portland to Council Crest uses the MAX train, Portland Aerial Tram, and Portland Streetcar or trolley, as well as including a short, invigorating trail hike to Council Crest. Along the way, you'll experience the deepest tunnel in the United States, the highest point in Portland, and spectacular views of snow-capped mountains. The round trip takes about 4 hours. For more information on these and other trails easily reached by Trimet, see trimet.org/trails. Happy adventuring!
Trimet TV.
Poetry in Motion brings poetry into the everyday lives of riders by placing poems on transit vehicles. Since 1997, Trimet has partnered with Literary Arts to put poetry on Trimet buses and MAX trains. This year, 8 new poems joined the collection, including 3 by Oregon poets and 2 by Portland high school students. Riders appreciate the brief respite the poems give them during their busy travels.
Yeah, I've been on public transportations all over the world and different parts of the world, and I feel like Trimet does things like poetry in motion that add that level of enjoyment to the ride.
I like reading the poems on the bus because they break up the ride and help put me in a good mood for the rest of my day.
Riders board Trimet vehicles more than 8 million times a month. With nearly 1,700 cards on 740 buses and trains, many riders will have a chance to enjoy this mobile literary exhibit. For more information, see trimet.org/poetry.